Hey, good evening, it's Jackie, and I just wanted to share with you what you're going to get with the free book plan from the sign up box up there. Now, I'm not sure that you can see this particularly brilliantly. I ran out of paper, so I'm doing it on a roll of brown paper. Anyway, so what does your book plan give you? Now, it's really important that when you start to write a book that you actually have a plan. I know a lot of people kind of pants it, they dive straight in at the point where they want to create an outline and they make an awful mess of it. So if you've got kind of like no idea, one idea, some idea, or in a complete and utter mess, having a look at this book plan will give you an idea about how to plan your book end to end. And once you know all the stages that are involved, then you can start to think about how you might do this a bit more effectively. So what we'll do is we'll go through some of the points on here, and then, like I say, download the book plan and it'll all be in there. So the first thing is with a book plan, you get an end-to-end plan. You know everything you need to do from when you're going to start, when you're going to publish, you're going to know how you're going to publish, you'll know what resources, and most importantly, how much time you need to set aside to do each of the tasks. So it's not just about planning the book, you've then got to outline it, create a chapter framework, write it, edit it, publish it, promote it. So there's quite a lot involved. But the other thing that we need to do is want to make sure that we've got the right book. And what I mean by the right book is, if you want a book that is going to help you build your credibility, help you build your personal brand, help you to connect to your ideal reader, your clients, and you want to use it to turn into what I call many things. So for example, when you write a book, you get clarity of purpose, clarity of process, and you're able to then create coaching, consultancy, retreats, online courses, maybe some other kind of product, all from writing your book. Because like I said, it gives you clarity of process and clarity of purpose. So we want to make sure that we have the right book. When we've got the right book, what we're then going to do is we're going to create an outline. So let me find you a drawing I created earlier. So let's see if you can see that. So your outline is that you're going to take your reader on a journey. So in taking your reader on a journey, you've got your personal story that you want to tell, the learning that you went through, the kind of like aha moment, the waking up, that kind of thing, the inspirational message that you want to share, and what the outcome you want your reader to get as a result of reading your book. So you're going to be sharing your knowledge, your skills, your experience. You're going to be writing this book for one ideal reader, not loads and loads of people, just going to write it for one person. You've got questions that ideal reader is going to be asking, so you want to be answering those. And this book is going to kind of take you on a journey where you share your visions, your values, your passion, your purpose, your vision. So we need to create an outline. So an outline gives us, like I said, that journey, but it makes it easier for us to then be able to write the book. Now the next thing we need is, she has something prepared earlier, is our chapter framework. So let's see if you can see that. So the chapter framework is going to be your title, and then for each of the chapters, the questions that this chapter answers, your story, and then whatever that framework is. So on here is a really simple framework, which is your what, your why, your how, your what if. So what is this chapter about? Why is it important for my reader to know about it? How are they going to do what it is that I'm telling them about? So things like case studies and exercises. And then questions for exploration and thinking points. So what this does is it enables you to chunk everything down so that when you actually come to write your book, it is like so simple. So the next thing is we've got our outline, our chapter framework, and like I said, we're chunking things down and we're making it really easy. The next thing we want to do is we're going to have to write it, and there are many different ways of writing your book. So you can write it longhand, you can record it, you can type it on your computer, you can talk it, you can outsource it. There's just a whole pile of different ways that you can do it, and often it's a balance between your time and the amount of money that you want to spend on getting your book written. So we need to do that. We get to what I call our final manuscript, and then we need to get the book proofed. So you must never, ever, ever let your book go without having a final set of eyes on it. And believe you me, you'll get something that I call reading blindness, because you'll read and read and read and read your final, what is your final manuscript, and it'll be perfect. And guess what? The proofreader will find masses of things. So the plan talks about the proofreader and at what stage they need to come in. And then it's about publishing and promoting. Now, we all know that we should be promoting our book before we start writing it. But in terms of a plan, it's about putting that promotions plan together so that you've got, while you're in this first planning phase, you're thinking about how to promote it, and you're doing little bits and pieces. And that might be, you know, asking people to vote on things like your book title, your cover. You might blog bits of your book, all sorts of things. So the promotion plan kind of goes across all of these different stages. So publishing, do you want a traditional publisher? You're going to self-publish, hybrid publish. So again, that's what your book plan is going to give you. And then the final piece of the jigsaw is your product roadmap. So I said right at the very beginning that your book, so this book, for example, if I take my book, the lighting is not terribly good, and if I take my book, I wrote that with a plan to use it for lots of other things. So I use it for coaching, consultancy, I use it on my writers retreat, I use it on my online courses. So I use it in lots and lots of different ways. So your product roadmap is, as you are creating your book and your book plan, you're thinking about, what are those other things I want to do? Now, with this book, for example, I have a mini course. So while you're planning the book out, you can plan the mini course. And plus I have a whole load of resources that I give away and things like that. So they are part of the product roadmap. So I've got the book, the mini course, and then I've got a bigger course, and then I've got my writer's retreat. So if you don't have any of these things in place, what the product roadmap does is lets you see when you're going to do each of those things so that you can then add them into the plan. So like I say, this is just a real brief tour into what the book plan is that you can get from signing up there. So download it, have a read, reflect, make some notes, and if you've got any questions, please come back and ask. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.